YouTube, how the heck you doing? This is Corey with Watcher Realms, and my cat has also gone ahead and joined the fray, right? So some really big things have happened. The first thing is being, well, the most important thing, if we're being honest, is Dragon Slayers and the Shire did emerge. That's kind of like the first thing. Now I'm gonna give a little bit of context as to how it happened. So basically, like midway through the season, Dragon Slayers had approached the Shire, basically saying, "Hey, like we need a merge. Like what do you think?" And we sat on it for a while, just to see like are we able to go ahead and get the opportunity to beat Mad a second time, and we didn't do it. We were decently competitive, and same for Dragon Slayers. But we kind of realized, okay, yes, the most tenable way to go ahead and actually beat Mad is to combine forces. And essentially, we created two separate guilds, Dragon Shire, which is Guild 1, and then Slayer Shire, which is Guild 2. Now, Dragon Shire is supposed to be like the super premier guild, where essentially what happened is we created the guild based off the top um, 15 players from each guild, just roughly top 15. And then we created Slayer Shire from like the other 15 plus a couple of new additions that were not necessarily included in the DSTS system. So that's how we kind of came up with this. So, Dragon Shire did, and it's going to take me a while to say it properly, I swear to God. But Dragon Shire did go ahead and win. Now, I'm going to post like little photos like throughout this video, just like how close the match was. But it was like incredibly close because largely we had the ability to prep for Dragon, not we had the ability to prep for a Dragon Shire to go versus Mad at the very end of the Gauntlet. It was very intentional. There's a reason why we have. I'll kind of like explain it. So basically, if you look at this and go to the normal Guild War setting, right, and we go to ranking rewards leaderboard. So Dragon Shire, which was the original Dragon Slayer's one seed, and then Slayer Shire, which was the Shire seed, they were always going to meet Mad at the end of the round, essentially. So the highest chance of doing it was going ahead and taking the Dragon Slayer seed so that there's a guaranteed shot that you get Mad at the end versus getting Mad for top four, right? So it's very intentional in terms of the seeding and how it was planned out. Now, with that being said, right? Hey, once again, the match was like incredibly close, and this is in no way like a slight to Mad. They're literally disgusting. They went undefeated for like God knows how long, to the point where we basically needed to make a super team of Guild v Guild players. Now, with that being said, it's officially done. However, um, I'll explain like how we got to this point, like how we organize and how we do things in the Shire slash Dragon Shire slash Slayer Shire in general, and then it'll make a lot more sense. God, my cat is going crazy. It make a lot more sense moving forward. So let me just do that. It's probably easier. And as long as I'm not too federal, then I don't think any of us. All right, let's not be too federal. So let's post this up. We have a system in our cluster or our guild, just generally speaking, right? So we kind of organize it pretty simply, like every guild typically does, where we have different threads for different defenses. But we also have a bot that we use that essentially we will record an attack that's successful, upload the attack to the bot, and then we have the ability to search that very specific attack within our Discord, within our website. That allows us to just really seamlessly have the information readily available with a successful methodology to go ahead and win. That's one of the main things that we go ahead and do to make sure that we are as efficient as possible, especially for late game attacks, versus like using a Google Drive or stuff like that. It's just easier from the website. If you could see it, and if you're in like obviously our cluster, like Dragon Shire, Slayer Shire, like like the bot's actually kind of crazy. It's like really helpful. It's super good. And so that's kind of one of the foundational things, fundamental things. Secondly, one of the benefits as to having the two guilds that we have, both Slayer Shire and Dragon Shire, specifically, is it's pretty much like all the remaining like super end game guild v guild focused people that are not within like Rising Horde. I'm pretty sure that's it. Dang, and that goes to a second point, right? there are not many Guild v Guild players left, like genuine hardcore Guild v Guild players that basically just devote their entire time to Guild v Guild. And so that's another reason as to why we have to do a merge, because if you want to be mad, you need to have the best people. And then if you want to go ahead and have enough information to continuously kind of like contend with them, you need to have the best people surrounded by other really good people to constantly develop ideas and strategies and things like this. As many people testing means as many repetitions as you can get, which means as much progress as you can make. Now, I will say, right, Dragonshire, I can't say we because I'm in Slayershire, but like Dragonshire did go beat Mad, which is a huge deal. Like it's absolutely like incredible because Mad has not lost anything of importance until this moment. This is the first time like Mad has genuinely lost something of importance, because now they won't get the Gauntlet chat icon or thing, right? That's the first material loss they've had. They were beaten by the Shire about 2 seasons ago at this point, right? And now, but even then, when they lost that, it wasn't like anything super like incredible, because while it was the first time they lost, it's not like they lost anything. They still were like 700 points above everybody at the end of the season. This time, they felt it. Now, one thing that I wanted to kind of touch on, because Zephyros mentioned it, and I thought like it was actually a really good point. If he's even watching this video, like shout out Zephyros. But basically, I want to temper expectations. I don't want to say, oh, Dragonshire is the new dynasty creator and blah 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 blah. Like, yeah, Dragonshire is like disgusting. Thunder, hello. Dragonshire is like disgusting, right? But this is kind of like the first real like chink in the armor of Mad. Give it a season. Allow Dragonshire, Slayershire, the collective. I'm just going to refer to it as the collective, to really push Dragonshire as high as it can go, to ideally be very, very consistently able to beat Mad instead of trading blows. Because the whole purpose wasn't just to win Gauntlet. Like, it really wasn't. The whole purpose is the collective just wants to win. Like, period. Like, the collective just wants to win. And so that's where we're really just pushing for moving forward. So with that being said, give it the next season. Let's see if Dragonshire wins the next season. Then we can really start talking about, like, hey, like, not has Mad fallen off, but, like, is Mad having some genuine competition now that can actually contend with them on a very hyper consistent basis, and in some ways be the favorite in the matchup. And that's what we're really looking for moving forward. Now, with that being said, obviously Zephyros mentioned a point, kind of like what I want to really touch on. Guild v Guild has had a incredible level of attrition of players over the course of like these last 9 seasons. I know, like, for me, I haven't posted in just about a week, but it was really just because, like, dude, like, you need a break sometimes. Good God. Also, real quick, we lost to The Rage. Shout out The Rage. They got top 3, which is also a natural thing that's going to occur whenever you merge 2 guilds. It's just going to happen, right? Basically, it was Mad, the Shire, Dragon, Slayers, The Rage, and then like Awaken Chaos, for example, things like that. It looks like Crimson Peak outperformed Awaken Chaos again, which makes sense because we actually beat Awaken Chaos on our run up, so it makes sense. But just in general, right? Pretty interesting bracket here. So interesting nonetheless. Dang, Arbiters. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be petty. Arbiters got top 32. Anyways, not gonna be petty. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. But Zephyros had mentioned that there's like a really high attrition rate for Guild v Guild players, and it's true. And that's why it was hard for Immortal Elite to also have Immortal Dawn. It's because where you want a guild to perform, especially if they're tagged to the number 1/number 2 guild, you don't want them to just be a bunch of like, excuse my language, you don't want a bunch of shit stains, for being honest, right? And so Guild v Guild every single season has lost players. And I'm not gonna lie, this little thing right here is, I will be careful with my words. I think it was quite the decision to make this a thing. to like make this mystery demon chest a thing and have the new faction locked behind it, but to not include these units in the actual gear raids, that was a choice, and I really don't like the choice. And have like another one that's like also really good, where we all just care about farming and just care about playing the game. Literally, because at a eventual point, I would say like season, we just got done with season 9. I'll say like season 11, season 12, 90%, maybe not 90, like 60% of the hardcore players that are in the top 10 will probably no longer still be playing Guild v Guild. It's because it is just not enjoyable when things have so much changed over these last couple of weeks in terms of getting stamina, farming, the demons that you need, the levels that you need for your demons to compete at the highest of levels. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like my account, how it is, I would look at top 32. I'm gonna be petty. I would look at top 32 and have a field day. I would literally be trick shotting on people. Um, so yeah, it's such a different ball game nowadays in how Guild v Guild functions, and what you need to be a competitive guild, and what you need to even contest against Mad. Like, I'm not gonna show like the BP and like the demon levels and like the heroes, like our rosters and stuff like that. Like, it takes a lot, and even then, like as you saw in like the little screenshots I posted, it's damn close. And it also comes down to like a lot of testing and a lot of strategic prep. And once again, I want to say like hold all judgments as to who is the best guild moving forward until the end of the next season. This is a really good step in the right direction that the Shire and Dragon Slayers made a good decision to create Dragon Shire as a collective. Um, but yeah, it's a good sign, but let's wait for the full stop sign and see where we go. Anyways,